And we are live. Actually, this is pre-recorded for your enjoyment, for your lovely mask enjoyment. I know October is flying by quickly. I hate that. You know, it's crazy how you can love a month so much from all the other ones, you know. October is amazing. It sucks because in the Midwest we can be robbed of a lot of great October days with rain, and that's what's been happening a lot through the month. It's really warm though. It's really muggy the past couple of days. Anyway, shut up about the weather and talk about masks, right? Tonight we're going to be talking about one of my favorite films of all time, and that movie is Carrie. It is Killer Clowns from Outer Space. And, God, I love this movie. And, you know, back when I was, living in my parents' home in my weird bedroom that you've seen full of horror posters and stuff, I would watch all my VHS tapes on my little TV. And it's funny how, it's kind of weird how you think about loving a movie so much back then, and there was no social media, so there was no frenzy like now there's a Halloween 3 frenzy out there where people are out of their minds over these films, like there's groups dedicated to Halloween 3. There's probably a Killer Clowns group, I'm assuming, but there's merchandise, everywhere. There's action figures and t-shirts and lunchboxes, and it's like these movie makers should be so grateful to the invention of social media and the internet, of course, because it has really sparked interest in these great, weird old movies. Of course, the movies don't need the help. When their movies are that great and that obscure and that funny and that crazy and they're just classics, they don't need the help of the internet. But they sure had it, They had that boost in the past. This wasn't going on 10 years ago on the internet. This is all kind of fresh in my brain, where the whole horror thing kind of just moved up a huge notch because of Facebook groups and things like that. So then our mask hobby, which was always very, very quiet, the mask hobby was this quiet thing out there that is nothing like it is today. I've said this time and time again. There used to be forums where people would go on online forums like the HMA, Halloween Mask Association website, and we'd all talk with each other. These old, it's all a bunch of mask nerds talking to each other. Now it's like anybody can stumble upon these mask groups on Facebook. This whole collectible genre keeps growing and growing and growing, and now it's just nuts. How big the mask hobby has gotten, and it's got a lot of facets to it. It's not just the classic vintage stuff that I love. It's all the Slipknot crowd and the Myers crowd, and there's these different directions this whole hobby went, and it's kind of went bonkers. I guess it's a good thing. Hey, it can be annoying at times, when a bunch of weird people flood your hobby, and it can drive you nuts in a lot of ways, but here we are. Anyway, what am I even talking about? All right, tonight we're not talking about these masks, really. These are the best Killer Clowns masks of all time. The Death Studios, the original 1988 release masks by Jeff Death Studios, and of course there are versions by Paul from Dark Side Studios. And it's funny that I didn't ever see Jeff's versions in person until I was at Paul's house. This is going way back in the day. I'm in Paul's basement, Dark Side Studio, and I go, whoa, look at this. And he had this set of these on his wall, and they were the original Death Studios versions, and they were all yellowed, you know. They looked super aged, and that is what just, man, it grabbed me so hard because they looked like these old circus things, you know. When these masks get yellow and old looking, they look better. Like, they just get better and better because they look like these vintage circus antiques in a way, you know. It's like, I can't explain it, but man, I saw those and I'm like, I knew about the masks, but never really seen them in my hands. And when I saw how big they were and the great colors on them, I go, that's it. I gotta get my hands on these. I went on to find 2 or 3 sets later, you know, and I had at least 2 sets at once for quite a long time. So tonight's video, I don't know if I've ever even talked about these on this channel yet. Maybe we did during the 31 days of Halloween last year. I don't remember. I don't remember what I did yesterday, but we could have talked about these. Tonight we're going to talk about a real special killer clown mask that's surfaced that I received from a friend of mine, my friend Douglas. My buddy Douglas reached out to me. He wanted to fund this other mask that came up for sale, a real rare piece. Sometime maybe last year or early this year, Douglas shows me a Killer Clowns mask that he acquired, and it's so different than these. It's really different. It didn't look anything like these, and it looked really old and like aged. And I go, what is that? You know, is that thing from the movie? Is it this and that? So there was all these questions that arose from this one single mask that he found, and it popped up on eBay of all places. And it's the character is Slim, like you see Slim right here. But I looked at it, I go, that is not the Death Studios sculpt, you know. And to my knowledge, there are no other ones out there. There's other smaller clown pieces and whatnot. But when it comes to the clown heads, I don't think I've seen any other sculptors take a whack at these. Maybe once, or, you know, I don't really remember, but I don't remember what I did yesterday. But, so this thing he shows me is so cool. The person selling it on eBay was calling it like a screen-used mask, and the guy was selling a whole bunch of other screen-used items for other films. I think Killer Clowns could have been one of them, and I don't know if it was the guy could have been an actor. I think the guy could have been an actor, like a B-movie actor or something like that. I don't really remember, but so my friend Douglas reaches out to another real heavy hitter in the mask world, friend of mine, who is a major mask maker. And he told him, he goes, that thing, it totally looks like it's like a screen-used item or something, you know? And he said, I would buy that. Like, I don't know what it is. It ain't no Death Studios mask, but I would buy it. And so Douglas buys this mask, which I have it right here. It's down here, looking at me from down below. He reaches out to the one and only Chiodo brothers, Chiodo brothers that made the film, and in Douglas's research, Douglas scoured the internet day and night. He finally, like a month later, comes up with a couple of pictures that show the exact sculpt, okay, on the Chiodo brothers table at a convention. And he thinks he found photos of this mask when it looked more brand new in the early 2000s. Reaches out to the Chiodos, and he got a response from one of them where it's like, am I wrong by saying this, Douglas? They actually said, yeah, that's one of ours, or it was like a screen used piece, but it doesn't match up with things in the film. So I'm real foggy on what the exchange was between them. They've verified at least that it was like from one of their molds, okay? Okay, so I listened to Douglas's message again. And in the beginning, the Chiodos were saying, yeah, it looks legit, like it's one of our molds, okay? However, they never let anybody use that mold, okay? Then later on, they kind of retracted what they said. And if the brothers see this, I'm just going by hearsay, okay? I'm not trying to stir the pot. I'm a huge fan, huge fan. I'm just going by what I was told because I bought the piece. It's so cool. So what I was told is they kind of retracted that, like, it's not really, we never let anybody use this mold, so maybe it can't be or whatever. And then all communication was cut off from that point. None of the other people from the production would answer his questions and whatnot. So in my mind, and this has happened a lot with Don Post Studios, people go to Don Post, people go back to Don Post Studio when old Don wasn't around, and they get these old 70s master molds out and make custom copies in the early 80s, like this one here. This was not authorized to be sold out the back door of Don Post Studios, but it sure was made at Don Post Studios as an unauthorized copy from the 70s master mold, long neck mummy master. So I know things happen, okay? Whether the brothers wanted them to happen or not, they could have happened. Someone could have grabbed that mold, poured up a blank, stuffed it in their duffel bag, and went home with it. You know, who knows? I'm not saying that happened. I'm not saying that's what this mask is, but it sure as hell could be. Those of you watching this, those of you that are Killer Klowns experts, I am not. I'm just a fan. I love the movie. I love the movie. We just played it the other night on the big screen. Private showing. We played Killer Klowns. Check it out. I'm not going to tell you what theater it was. I'm not even going to tell you what country that was in, but we did it because we probably weren't authorized to do that. But this movie is special to me. The characters, the whole thing about it is very special to me. So when Douglas offered this thing, he goes, dude, I got to buy this other piece. It's a fortune. I got to sell the clown. He was like, I'll never sell this clown. But this other thing came up for sale. He's like, I got to sell the clown. I'm like, I want the clown, Douglas. So now we're going back to this whole screen used mold and blah, blah, blah. Like I just watched the movie the other night, so it's real fresh in my mind. These heads were huge in the movie. The costumes they were big clown heads from what I can tell. And this piece shows up and it's kind of on the smaller side, okay? However, it's a sculpt I've never seen before. I've never seen this thing. Never seen this mask. Never seen one anywhere in a collection. Never. And I go, it's still special. This thing is still, there's something behind this piece. Somebody may comment on this video and go, oh, I know who made that. This other guy made that in 1998. No, it's not from the Chiodos. Whoever did this, they put a lot of work into it. I might as well bring it out and show you while we're babbling because the details on this clown are amazing. Look at that. He's even got teeth. I mean, let's put him up front here. Come on, buddy. We gotta get you up here. All right. Trying to do this without knocking shit off. Now look at this, okay? I mean, a lot went into making this mask, okay? It is possible that this came from a mold from the brothers. I don't know. I mean, it's so what I was going back to what I was saying when it arrived. Like, there's the Death Studios Slim, right? This is taller, but there's more girth to him. You know, I don't know. It's pretty big this way. I just go, I don't know, Douglas, because it's big, but to me, not movie big, okay? That's the first clue I had that I go, I don't know if this thing was used in the film. It could have been a mold that was like pre-production, you know, when they're developing the characters and making several different, shut up! They're making several different, you know, sculptures and whatnot. Still could be from a mold that they used for the production of the film. You know, character design or whatever. It's got teeth that are actually glued in, okay? Like there was teeth added. Douglas found a photo of this thing from 2006, and it was not this yellow. It was not aged like this, which tells me it was probably under some UV lighting that really aged him more. But to me, that adds so much to this thing. It makes it look so old. Like, just like I was saying, they look so great when these clowns are old looking. I mean, look at him compared to these. It's crazy looking. But, I mean, study the detail in the wrinkles and the sculpture. Because this isn't just... There's no way this was just a mask someone made. I highly doubt it. I mean, it could be... But the detail blows away the detail on Jeff's pieces. Nothing wrong with Jeff's masks. Trust me, I love them. But I mean, the detail is crazy. I mean, there's a lot of wrinkles here. So this is a mystery, this thing. And I'm hoping with this video getting out there in circulation in time, I'm hoping someone will go, I know what that is. Or here's the real story. Hey, if you have the story on this, I don't care what it is. I don't care if a mold was stolen, or I will not tell the story on air, okay? I'll keep my mouth shut. But I would love to know what it is, okay? It's just so cool. And it, you know, the funny thing is, when people walk in this room that have never been here, they have no knowledge of a Halloween mask hobby even being a thing. They either think I'm nuts or they think this is cool. They walk in here, they all go, look at those clowns, the killer clowns. Everyone points right at these clowns. Forget the, you know, zillion other rare masks in the room. They all point to those killer clowns up there on the top shelf. So they are no doubt a highlight of this collection. I really want to start foam filling these guys. They're some of my favorite pieces here. Those of you that own these masks, whatever red paint Jeff used back in the day on these clowns, I think it has a serious problem where it fades. You notice that? Look, it's fading on him. The red, just the red. Everything else is vibrant. So even on him, it's fading a little here. So I wonder if any of you out there that own these have that problem with yours, where the red that Jeff used during the late 80s is fading and getting splotchy. I don't know. Oh, and that brings me back to this piece. The eyes. So the eyes on this thing, those are not painted eyes. Those are like acrylic eyes in there. See that? I mean, this thing is wild. You know, if the brothers told me, oh yeah, you know, someone stole that, you know, I'd be like, okay, now I know. I'm not going to blast the story all over the internet. I'll save you any embarrassment of that even happening at your studio. It happens. Shit happens. People are assholes. But thanks to assholes, shit like this pops up in the hobby, you know, and then that mummy and some other things in this room. But I mean, I had to talk about this. It was a new arrival for October. It's big, but it doesn't really match up with anything on screen. But I mean, look at the details, like I said, you know. So if any of you out there, if you're a Killer Clowns, you know, expert, if you're a Killer Clowns expert, or you're a former employee of the Chiodo Network, or whatever you want to call the great Chiodo Brothers studio, let me know your thoughts. I won't out you. I won't say, well, this guy worked for them and he told me. I'll just, I'll keep the story quiet with the piece. I'll respect that. Hopefully it's a story we can share. I'm good with keeping secrets. But, let me know your thoughts. Have you guys out there in Maskland and Killer Clown fans across the world, have you ever seen one of these? Like I said, Douglas saw a photo of one of these on the brothers' table at a convention, which makes me believe it's from their mold, okay? What mold is that? I don't know. It sure doesn't match up anything on the movie, but it could be some pre-production, character design mold, whatever. I'm sure a lot went into making this movie what it was. If the brothers are watching this, thank you for giving us the wonderful gift of this film. I love it so much to this day. I love it. Anyway, this is just a quick video on this new piece that arrived because I'm not going to talk about any of their masks on this video. I want this to be Killer Clowns from Outer Space specific, okay? I'm hoping somewhere we'll get an answer on what this guy is. And Douglas is a friend of mine. He's a great guy. Check out his YouTube channel. He throws me a lot of bones. He will constantly send me messages at night of masks that are for sale out there in the world. And I've scored some good stuff from him. So I really appreciate everything he does. And at first I started yelling at him. I go, I don't think there's a screen used. And I'm like, because of the size and whatnot, I go, if it's nowhere near the size of a Death Studios mask, they're so fat. And he's like, I never had a Death Studios mask in my hands. And I'm like, all right, I should stop yelling. But I told him, I go, it's still amazing. It's still incredible. Obviously, it aged a lot, but I like it like that. I like it brown and crazy looking. It's just awesome. So thanks for watching this quick video on this new score for October. Halloween's right around the corner, and gosh, we got to pump out some more videos before the end of October. It's going fast. Winter is upon us. Ugh. All right, guys, thank you. Please let me know in the comments if you know anything about this clown.